Life as We Know It with Tom Walton.
Several years ago, my wife and I went to see a movie called 6 Days, 7 Nights, starring Harrison Ford and Anne Heche, a rom-com about a mismatched couple falling in love against all odds, a formula that Hollywood has successfully worked to death for years. The plot was entirely predictable. In a romantic comedy, hardly anyone ever dies, and when they do, it is tender, peaceful, and tear-jerking. But as faithful to the genre as 6 Days, 7 Nights was, I got caught up in the story. At the film's climactic scene, when it appeared that any chance at true love was gone, I shouted out, loud enough for everyone in the theater to hear me, "She didn't get on the plane!" I had forgotten that I was wearing headphones, and more importantly, I had forgotten that I was not at home, alone. The theater was packed. Several fellow moviegoers turned to shush me, others just laughed. My wife gave me an elbow to the ribs that left me scarred, at least emotionally, to this day. I wanted to crawl under the seat, which any veteran moviegoer of a certain age will remember is the spot where patrons once stored their used bubblegum. In all innocence, I had violated a basic rule of movie etiquette. Don't intrude on the experience of others. Now that Americans are loading up on popcorn and junior mints at movie theaters again, fans of the cinema are rediscovering a downside of the experience, the occasionally bad manners of other patrons. Perhaps the most annoying aspect of a trip to the movies is the disregard of the common sense rule about cell phone use once the movie starts. The movie industry has rebounded nicely from the pandemic, thanks largely to the success of Barbie and Oppenheimer. But too many of us have fallen back into our old habits in the theater, compromising the experience for everyone else. It's true that Oppenheimer is a long movie, 3 hours. But if that's too long to sit still and pay attention, don't go in the first place. Find a darkened room elsewhere to scroll through your text messages. Theater etiquette, or the lack of it, has become a frequent topic on social media. One person wrote, quote, "I literally turn my phone all the way off whenever I'm at a movie theater because the idea of my phone making any noise in the audience makes me want to die. So the idea that people are just on their phones browsing TikTok during a movie is insane to me. Were you raised in a barn?" End of quote. Other basic rules should not have to be restated. Don't throw food. Don't bring food. Nobody wants to watch you polish off your Big Mac. Don't put your feet on the empty seat in front of you. And don't grab the backs of occupied seats. While millions of Americans, myself included, discovered the wonderful world of streaming during the pandemic, we were also excited by the opportunity to once again enjoy a movie on the big screen. Now, we just have to remember that behavior which had no consequences in the privacy of our own home is a really bad idea in a crowded theater. Remember my humiliating experience? If you're convinced she didn't get on the plane, please, just keep it to yourself.
Life as We Know It is written and hosted by Tom Walton and is a production of WGTE Public Media. Life as We Know It with Tom Walton can be heard on WGTE FM 91 every Monday afternoon during All Things Considered at 5:44 p.m. Or hear past episodes at wgte.org/life.